Shirley here with Jupitalis. This is Jupiter hour on a Mercury night. And Saturn is fraction from the Ingress to Aries. Mars in Leo, trining Venus, and the Moon in Taurus applying to square Pluto, but the Sun trining Pluto. Jupiter is sextiling Chiron from Gemini. But let's talk business. Predictions for Saturn, Ingress, and the bubble pops. Um, First thing first, Liechtenstein. Saturn rules teeth, and Liechtenstein is one of the greatest productions of fake teeth, okay, artificial teeth. So I definitely expect to see Liechtenstein on the map. Um, Saturn rules minerals. Saturn, let's just say, it rules rocks, and when it comes to metal, the ingress to a Mars rule sign with the Mars in Leo, and the Sun in a trade sign is going to give us fluctuations in the price of gold and or ability to trade in gold and iron, for sure, because iron is Mars. So we're going to either have restrictions of. Um, I was just listening that family that tried to control the silver price. Um, and if something like that is attempted at gold or at the irons and something like that, we can have a bubble pop regarding to those things. Um, Watchmaking. Okay, so you want to think about the minerals like the crystal quartz that are associated with watchmaking. We may have an influx or a bubble pop or a sudden um, okay sudden they can go missing, okay, so not enough for quartz for the production. Certain minerals, salts, okay, they can be both not enough salt, um, or problem where, okay, the prices of the salt limitation. Saturn also rules that. um, Now the crystals that can be associated with Aries and Leo, so we're talking peridot, we're talking tiger eye, um, the jaspers, to some degree corals, especially upon the especially until 2026, because this is the move from the ocean to the barren land. So though we can see fluctuation around those things, we will find new minerals, but we will also have a problem. There may be an influx of frauds to do with minerals, rocks, salt, and teeth production. If you're scheduling, okay, something like that, then it can be particularly scammy at the beginning, okay, and at least before Saturn separates from Neptune. So Saturn has been co-present with Neptune the last 3 years in Pisces, and will continue to be co-present in the forthcoming 3 years. Um, an antidote to that is see what can you do in yourself. Scams around minerals: xylitol, fluoride, Feynman A bombs. I won't say no more. Oil pooling, okay, but there are also frauds around oil. We've already seen that, even with the B6 Um, mm, 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 mm. More Saturn, Neptune. Oh, skyscrapers, because Saturn is something tall and Mars is real estate. Scams around um, skyscrapers, real estate, okay, business real estate, scammy things can have a bubble pop, but it can also be an influx of new scams. So bank fraud, okay, fiscal frauds, debt fraud. Um, I think that those can be topics. Um, we might see a tiny wave of bank collapse. I'm not saying it's going to be like a big depression. I'm just saying that what Pluto didn't do, Saturn ingressing together with Neptune will. I don't predict that to be over the top. Um, uh, yes, however, there is an element of unpredictability. So it's a closing cycle to Saturn Uranus, and so it's a more harmonious aspect. And yet, whatever no longer serves, be it banks, assets that some people will need to liquidate, that will, yeah, that will make its way away, and it could be even an engineered crisis to bring forth digital coins and digital currency, digital ID. We may have an embark of digital ID. Um, More things, more final predictions before it is set in stone, as they say. Oh, prices of talismans, particularly stone, rocks, talismans. We're going to have new ways of creating them, new ways of making those things. There may be a call for standardization of anything occult, new rules placed on that. Because it's on the world degree, we may have people trying to do standard oil with strategies, and also we're going to have karma for those who previously did standard oil strategies. What is standard oil strategy? Is eliminating all competitors and forcing everybody to use your infrastructure or your product. They can be a serious bubble pop for those that attempted that, while at the same time it's a sign of duality. There can be new okay, new attempts at that. um, yes, so you know, that is perhaps pertaining to um, worldly affairs more so than person to person. But again, that is something that, yep, the bubble can pop for those that did that, that it's run its course. Um, but also those that attempted that can have a mega tsunami reality check as to what does that entail. Any ritual, Saturn rules rituals courses, particularly of the first boy, so they can have a particular bubble pop. I think bubble pop is more pragmatic to say than karma, because karma can be simply the accumulation of actions, and for the people that practice those rituals, they believe that it would be good karma to practice those rituals, okay, in light of whatever they were offering to. So particular offerings, um, rituals that were done around war, okay, the god of war, um, anything Martian. So we're gonna have yeah, weapon industries. Um, Saturn is something tradition. It's going to be, we're going to be starting a new tradition regarding weapon industries and technologies that are wave based, because this is Neptune. Um, so this is going to be very interesting, local destin type of thing. Um, I recently saw what I call a Catholic marriage between Netherlands and NATO fiscally, being prompted by the Prime Minister of Netherlands, and of course highly supported by head of NATO. Okay, there can be quite an immediate bubble pop regarding to what that entails. So we might have a new conflict starting as end par with an ending of a conflict. We saw the returning of, I think it was 390 prisoners, war prisoners between Russia and Ukraine. Yes, something might happen along these lines. Although Saturn rule what is planned, an ingress is usually, um, however much we planned for, it's a new territory. Okay, and Saturn hasn't opened that door for yes, for at least 28 years. Okay, some of my colleagues even go all the way back to 35 years, if we count until 2026 perhaps. Oh, somebody's telling somebody that they're going to bury them. Burial is Saturn. Saturn, we're going to have new regulations or new ways to bury people. Um, yes, Aries is a fire sign, so particularly, yes, hopefully not. I'm not talking about the killing. I'm talking about the burial procedure. Um, but that part will also be new ways to kill people, I guess. Um, more things that I can predict right before the ingress. Um, so by tomorrow, I think at the same time we're going to already have the ingress. Again, it's the first touch. Yeah, by tomorrow, for the same time, we're going to have the ingress. It's the first touch. It is not. It's not the last say about the first say. Okay, just you want to think about the fact that if it is, let's say, if Saturn and Aries were two people meeting each other, then this is the first chance at the first impression, but there's going to be a second chance in 2026. So um, that it has marsed. It has marsed. I began in Jupiter hour to my defense. So, um, anything more? Yes, to say about that. Oh, anything, any mind control tactics that were playing on the identity and all things Mars, gonna have a bubble pop. Um, and so and again there might be the new attempts at that, so this is a very big deal. um, yes, again, bubble pops to scams. What's more, but it's also going to be dissolution of certain orthodoxies, and particularly the orthodoxies to do with Aries, that can be both Kant and Lucifer. I mean, at the same time. Because Saturn is something, Saturn in Neptune is boundaries dissolving, orthodox is dissolving, depths dissolving. They can actually be depth relief at the same time with austerity. Um, okay, Neptune is something that's dissolving. Karma's dissolving. Okay, when we tend to what we need to tend to, there can be uh, um, karma's dissolving. So um, ending to imprisonments, okay, particularly for Aries ascendants. Okay, if Pisces is the second house, there can be an ending to a certain, or the beginning of the ending, okay, until 2026. But then other restrictions can be placed. Um, Dissolving of some restrictions of the sovereignty again, because Saturn is ingressing into Aries, so it's like, oh, new boundaries on anything Aries, but it is ingressing to dissolve before it places the new, because it meets Neptune, and so it's both dissolving and something going viral. So we'll have a juxtaposition of new viral restrictions alongside the dissolving of things from the 28 to 35 years of an annual cycle until Saturn meets Neptune. So um, it's just going to be dual in that way. Even if I think about the no escape clause, okay, giving up the escape clause by Netherlands, which is very extreme. It happened, and I looked a little bit at the chart of Mr. Dick Schoof. He has Neptune in conjunct transit, okay? I noticed that because it's my Neptune square, so I pay attention to Neptune's transits around me. So he might personally be affected by those by the very proposal. So that's going to be, and I see his chart with that signature of the Saturn Neptune. Um, and so that may be, I'm probably going to be very affected by that as well, because I'm in my Neptune square and I have Neptune in Saturn sign, so those things might be, yes, affecting. Um, Anything more predictions? Yes, that Mars is in the sign of monarchy performers. Mars is actually in the yeah, well, it is in the sign where um, it's going to affect leaders first, the ingress, okay, because where Mars is, we ask ourselves, where's the ruler? So we're going from Saturn being ruled by Jupiter, that's now in Gemini, and slower moving, to being ruled by Mars, which is faster moving. And so we're going to have a rapid boundary setting and boundary dissolving in a cycle of 2.5 years. We're already going to sense that it's going to be a huge transit, whereas Saturn in Pisces is kind of like, oh, we're talking satanic ritual abuse again. No, this year is like 1995, okay? Um, yes, and I'll keep it at that, okay? I can go on and on and on, but this is just kind of like final prediction before the ingress. So yes, and the Sun is in Gemini, trining Pluto, so there can be a harmonious reestablishment of trade awareness, personal branding awareness. Mercury, Uranus, there's Eureka solutions. So um, yeah, all in all, Moon is in Taurus, squaring Pluto, so issues of care and control are going to be at hand. We want the care to not be controlling, um, or we will revolt. Okay, it is co-present with Uranus, and the we is everybody. Okay, leaders, people, AI, everything. Okay, electric cars, flying cars, everything. So yeah, I'll keep it beach length and see that it actually uploads.